Hey guys, RC here back with episode 5 of our tutorial trying to show how stupid I am at this game. No, actually, I hope you're learning something. I hope maybe somebody sees something that I am doing wrong and can help me. But again, I'm trying some different stuff just to see. So let's see. All right, training. All right, there's our. Oh, I didn't check emails last week. That's the one where Patel and the asterisk, he did reject the scholarship offer from us. So we didn't get any signings this week. Let's see. We are playing Texas A&M this week, who is 1-1 on the season. All right, so we're going to go to our depth chart. Looks like Wolf is back full health as our backup running back, so that's good. And let's check our recruiting. All right, so we didn't lose anybody this week, so that's good. And if you ever change that and you go, hey, where's all my players? Check here, because I think that always defaults to not recruiting. And you can change that to whatever sorting you want. Recruiting is people that you've made offers to and you've got recruiting points on. All right, so week 3, I've put 30 points on this player. He is still at a 61. It's still just me and Bama. And that winning is really trumping the close to home prestige. Um, hey, I'm going to stay on him because, again, if he comes off that other guy, then, all right. I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point, I think I'm going to get this guy. I think. I think if I lost him, that would really be a surprise. And then this guy is a 94. Honestly, it's a crapshoot. Um, I don't know what their rosters look like. I think Prestige we're probably even. Security, I think we're probably even. Um, Playing time might be the deciding factor, and I know I was actually short quarterback, so that may give me the edge. So I'm good there. Um, Actually, look what my going from 2 to 10 points. He jumped up from a 29 to an 83. It's still Oklahoma and myself are recruiting him. I'm going to go ahead and I don't have a scholarship to give him, but I'm going to go ahead and schedule my interview. And I think he's the only one I had not interviewed. I'm just kind of scanning for that. Interview done. All right, so everybody's been interviewed, so we're done there. Now I just need to determine my scouting points. All right, so I certainly want to keep going with my quarterbacks. I think that's my most important. Uh, I'm going to do one more week of scouting on this guy, and then I may just let the recruiting points roll, or I may come off of him if he hasn't changed any. I think I'm done with him. Um, just trying to see anybody else that has a low interest. All right, here's a 69, so that's not good. I did give him a scholarship. Mississippi, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn. He's out of Arkansas, close to home. Helena, Arkansas. Nobody's in state. I mean, Arkansas is north of Louisiana. You got to go down to Mississippi and then over to Alabama. I should be the closest school to him. Huh. Not sure. The only other thing would be maybe because if we look at him, where's he at? Dang it. There he is. I've only got 26 points, but that's only 4 less than the max. So I don't know. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put 5 on him. He's got a 62. Okay, and I've spent 30, so he's maxed. Close to home. Okay, so close to home and security. All right, so I think Missouri's going to get this guy just because he wants close to home. So that's one. Let's go ahead and I'm going to revoke his scholarship. I'm going to pull his points, and I'm going to hide him. Okay, so we're going to be done with him. All right, now I need to replace that scholarship. Let me go ahead and offer it to this fullback that's up and coming. And then I'm going to start from the bottom here because, you know, normally I start from the top. Now, this is where I sometimes make my mistake, is I'm looking at the interest level. I've already kind of looked at the stats for each guy, right? So, all right, I took his away. And 3, okay. So, you know, short of going in and just re-looking at that scouting report, you know, to see, you know, this is not going to change because that's from the interview. This could change, more teams against him, but it's the players that you actually scouted that week that you would maybe want to go in and look. And you know, now you can see this guy is up to about 40%, 44% if you mouse over, of report certainty, and that's this information here. I don't know what it affects here. Nothing, I don't think, but it might. Um, but we're going to kind of streamline through that. All right, I do have 21 points left, so I'm going to go to uncommitted players. All right, he's only, see, everybody's come off him except for Ohio State. So, you know, they're really starting to pencil in on people. All right, here's a guy that nobody's recruiting yet, Reginald Hammond. All right, so I'm going to add him. I'm going to look at not recruiting yet. All right, I'm going to put 10 points on him. Or actually, I'm going to put, yeah, I'm going to put 10 points on him, and I'm going to eat these other 2. Well, let's see if there's anybody else that nobody has. Michael Goforth. Huh. All right, we're going to add him, and I'll put the other 2 points on him. That'll work. We will go ahead and sim this week. Sim the week. While that is doing that, all right, I am 9 minutes into this video. I forgot to set my timer again. That's fine. While it is simming, let's see if anybody has responded to our post. 2 people have looked at it. Still no answer. That's fine. All right. Back to week 4, just to look at our score. We crushed A&M 41-10. Let's go ahead and do a save so we don't lose anything. Alrighty. Let's go to our home page. We've got 3 emails. a locker room report. So this is something you kind of have to look at during the season. Our morale is high. If you're losing, there could be issues. If you have a bad morale person, you could have fights. You could have different things that may or may not happen. All right. We got James Ivey, and then we lost Earl. Oh, Earl Bowman went to Baylor. Wow. Okay. Charles Wiseman went to Mississippi State. Billy Tompkins went to TCU, and Philip Leroy went to Texas. Wow. Okay. I'm going to keep that in case I need to look at it, but let's go real quick. Let's go in and do our, I just kind of do it in the same fashion every time. All right, so now I want to look at my lost targets. Okay, so Bowman was a 95 interest. He was one of those guys I thought I was going. In fact, wasn't he the one that I thought I was going to get? He went where? Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, so he went to Baylor. He valued winning. He valued market size. I thought this was the guy I was a guarantee to get. Okay. How does he go to Baylor? All right. Wolverine guys. I'm going off of what you guys said. I've got max points. I've done everything. I'm looking at his things. Okay, values winning. I don't think any of these schools over, Baylor, I guess, if you look over the last couple of seasons, but still, I think LSU's been just as good, if not better. Market size, I think the SEC outdoes the Big 12 in conference prestige. So how Baylor competed with me here, I don't know. So this is a good example of, first off, a 95 interest means jack shit. And this is one of those things where even what they tell us are important don't always translate. Now, they're going to write it off and say, well, that's just an anomaly. Sometimes a player makes a decision to make a decision. Okay, we'll see how many of these actually get, but that's one that I was 99% sure I was going to get based on the new information that I've been given on how to look at it, and yet this guy completely fell apart. So I need to make a note because I want to make sure that they realize. So this is episode 5. I think this is episode 5. Let's see. Yes, this will be episode 5. So episode 5 is a signing issue. Quarterback Bowman. It's like anything. You can make excuses until we're all blue in the face, but if they don't make sense with what you tell me the rest of the time, then I don't know why. Playing close to home was not an important factor. Granted, actually Baton Rouge might be close, just as close, if not closer, than Waco is to Houston, because I live in Houston and Waco's pretty far away. It's about 5 hours to Baton Rouge driving time, but I'm probably a good 5 hours from Waco as well. Anyway, so that's one that didn't make sense. So I've got 4 scholarships back. I've got 40 points. I do want to look at the rest of these guys. All right, so scouting report for Billy Tompkins, my cornerback. Let's go ahead and hide him. I had a 90 interest on this guy with max points. He ended up, who did he sign with? He signed with TCU. All right, now he's out of San Antonio. All right. Playing time was the most important. So, I'd have to go in and look at rosters and everything else. So that's one. Hey, whatever. I guess that could happen. He's a 3-star. Probably does have less depth to worry about. Although yeah, cornerback was like one of my tier 3. I knew I had guys and I wanted one but didn't need them. So that probably makes sense. I'm okay with that one. Charles Wiseman, max points, only 85. Signed with Mississippi State. Okay. Florida State, Florida, Bama, LSU, South Carolina. And he wasn't even recruited by these guys, and he went to Mississippi State. Hold on. All right, he went to Baylor. He has an offer from Baylor. He went to TCU. Was recruited by TCU. This guy signs with Mississippi State, and Mississippi State was not even recruiting him. Okay, you can tell by my stunned silence that makes no flippin' sense. Wasn't even recruited and he signed with them? Hello? Bueller, anybody home? Yeah, okay, that's why I had to go check those other players. So they shouldn't have fallen off the list. They didn't even recruit him and he signed with them. That's man. Okay. Guard Wiseman. Okay, so that one probably could warrant some explaining from those that are better understanding of the game than me. Playing time again, probably not the best people for me to be going after. All right, moving on. Philip Leroy, 96, went with max points. Went with Texas. Texas is on here. Texas, LSU, Baylor. All right, this guy valued close to home, and he's out of Houston. Austin is closer than Baton Rouge, not by much, but it is closer. Prestige is probably equal. And market size I thought might give me the edge. So yeah, I guess that was a toss-up. I thought I had a shot, but that is what it is. And Patel went to Georgia Tech. Of course, that was last week, and I had not even scouted him yet or interviewed him, so that one was a late get on my part, which that didn't surprise me. So yeah, but I mean, so out of the 4 I lost this week, I think 2 of those are innately questionable. One, I don't know why they went to Baylor, and 2, I don't know why this guy signed with a school that wasn't even recruiting him. You guys know Jeff Dunham. I feel kind of like Peanut going meow right now. I don't get that. But anyway, we want to go to my commits. So I did get my 5-star player, so that's actually good. 40 points. I do lose the 10 points for that, but that's okay. Now you can cut the player here, but we're not going to do that. I was going up against him for Oklahoma. Neither one of us are in state. Loyalty, close to home. I think I am closer to Baton Rouge than Oklahoma for sure, because I can get to Baton Rouge in about the time that I can drive to Dallas, and I'm in northeast Houston, which is where this school is at. I'm a good 4. Yeah, I'm a good 4 hours from here to Dallas. So, I could get in about 4 hours to Baton Rouge for sure. And that's just to Dallas, let alone to Oklahoma. I've got another couple of hour drive up to Norman. So, yeah, we've got the edge there. So that certainly makes sense. Hey, and I got a 5-star player. That's the first one I've recruited now ever in this game. All right, so let's go look at recruiting. Or actually not recruiting. I don't have anybody. So recruiting, targets. All right. All right. Neely has really become a huge priority at this point. This guy is at a 66 still, and it's still just me and Bama. But I put max points. I'm going to come off of him. I'm going to pull his scholarship and hide him. I'm going to surrender him to Alabama. I'm going to hope that shows this guy, Neely, who's also being recruited by Bama, how important he is to me. And go forth. I only put 2 points. He's already a 75. And I'm the only one recruiting him. So let's give him those points. Schedule an interview with him and put 5 scouting on him. And offer him that guy's scholarship. Okay? So we might have snuck this guy because I'm still the only one recruiting him as of this week. All right. This guy's a 96. We jumped on him. Nobody else is recruiting him. Let's go ahead and interview, scout, and offer. And everybody, those are the only 2 guys not on my offer board. All right, so he's gone. All right. So now he's gone up to a 98 interest, that fullback. And it's me in Oklahoma, close to home. Now that's where he could get me there. Winning and loyalty, but Ardmore, Oklahoma. Honestly, I'd have to look that up. I have no idea where that's at. But the fact that it's in Oklahoma tells me that he's probably closer. This is a guy I should probably come off of, but I'm going to stay on him for right now. Let's go ahead and put 5 points on him. Salcedo. Still a lot of us here. Loyalty. Playing time. See, playing time is just one I don't know. Without knowing how the other teams are set up, I think maybe as a high prestige team, you might not want to go after those guys unless you just have the scholarships to burn. If it's an at-need position, you might want to go elsewhere. Defensive end, defensive tackle were positions that I don't need, but I could certainly, I think, I subscribe to the SEC philosophy of linemen that you can't have too many linemen. So whenever I have extra, that's usually where I go. Let's see. Linebacker 94. Me in Mississippi State. He's out of Mississippi, and he wants to play close to home. Now, Puckett, Mississippi. Now, this is one of those things where I'm going to actually go to Google Maps on my phone. Puckett, because I have no idea where Puckett, Mississippi is. All right. And directions to Baton Rouge. All right, so it's about 188 miles from Puckett to Baton Rouge. Now, if we change to Mississippi State, Mississippi State University, and go route, it is 131 miles. So only 50 miles difference. And in state, does that make a big difference? So I'm going to go on the assumption that I'm going to lose this guy, even with the high interest. 50 miles, does that make a huge difference? You know, what's a difference in, I mean, 50 miles, that's an hour, you know. Can you drive an extra hour to see your kid play? Can you drive an extra hour to go home and visit your parents? You know, it's not like they're asking you to spend the night on the road getting there. But, you know, I can certainly see where that would be one that would cost me. Um, and I will probably lose that guy. We'll see. Neely I've already done, but I certainly want to put my scouting on him. All right, Grant, a 95, me and Oklahoma State. Loyalty, winning, playing time, close to home. I mean, he's got a lot of things he's interested in. Let me try to dial that in a little bit more with some scouting. All right, we'll come back over to Hollis Henson. Market size and close to home. He's out of Louisiana, so I think I've got this guy. Michael Qualls, Missouri and Louisiana State. All right. Remember, I'd come off. I was thinking that was the guy in Missouri, but I came off of him. All right. Market size, close to home. I think Arkansas is going to be closer to Baton Rouge than Missouri. Could be wrong about that because, unfortunately, we don't have anything in here that gives us definitive numbers. That would be nice. There was a game. There was a game that came out years ago around 2004, 2005, 2006. It was called the College Years, and it was the first college. In fact, it must have been '04 because Bowlbound came out in '05, and I was playing the College Years for a while before Bowlbound came out. And they actually, I remember in their recruiting section, they did use mileage, and it was, but they actually gave you, it told you how many miles away somebody was from the different schools. So, you know, you were able to look that up in the game. If that's going to be a factor, I think that needs to be added. You know, whatever you're basing your calculations on here at Wolverine for this game, you've got to provide that data to the people playing the game and buying it from you. You know, rather than having to go to Google Maps and figure it out. That's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. All right, 71 points. Looks like he fell a little bit, so this is Nathan Wynn. He's got a lot of teams after him. Close to home. He's out of Arkansas. See, this is one I actually thought might be... All right, Helena, Arkansas. Let's see, cancel. I'm going to change this. Helena, Arkansas. All right, that's actually way over on the border with Mississippi, actually up near Memphis. So yeah, so I'm thinking Ole Miss and Mississippi State are going to have a better shot at this guy, especially since he's 100 in there. So this is a guy I'm going to go ahead and cut bait on. I'm going to revoke his scholarship, pull his points, go ahead and hide him. Okay. All right. Bear, 89 interest. List of schools, loyalty. All right, what did we say loyalty was? How much the player values their current team. Oh, wrong thing. Let's see, that would be back on here. No? All right, so that's personalities. How much the player values their current team. But we're talking their... okay, so this is misleading because according to the guide, it says values their current team. Well, the guy's on a high school team in Katy, Texas. That's great that he's loyal to them. He's not on any of the teams that are recruiting him, right? So where does that come into play? I don't know the answer to that. Market size, winning, prestige is pretty important. That's the second one. Close to home is over 50, so that's above average. So you know what? This guy's in Katy. That's in the Houston area. I don't know what loyalty means as in a nutshell. So if you guys can clarify that, that would be great. But close to home is above average. He's going to be closer to these schools. So we're going to go ahead and come off of this guy too. I'm going to revoke his scholarship, and I'm going to hide him. All right, so we're good there. All right, Wallace Robinson, tight end. Good group of schools. Texarkana, Texas. Security, market size. All right, security. How much the player values security of the program. Again, is that how long they've been good, or is that actually values winning? That's odd, because I mean, just about every college has been around for a while, especially in the Power 5 conferences. Playing time, I could lose him out there. He doesn't value close to home very much, so that's not going to affect me. All right, we're going to stay on him. I'm going to go ahead and put some scouting points on him. Cornish. Prestige. I think Texas is the only one that can compete with me. Close to home. Again, to get to Texas, he's got to come through Baton Rouge from Picayune, Mississippi. So I think we've got that guy. I mean, that would be, my rationale based on what I've been told. Jonathan Grace. All right, we're the only team on him. Now, if he is not signed with me in, say, another week, I may actually come off of this and keep like 5 points on him, because right now, if nobody else has recruited him, I've got a 40-point lead on them from a recruiting standpoint. So I'm going to get to 50, maybe 60 before I really start thinking about that. Chris Hartwell, Georgia, values winning. Close to home is important, but not as much as winning. I think I've got a shot against Georgia in the winning category. If it comes down to that's a tie for him, then close to home, he's going to go to Georgia. So, but I'm going to stay on him. All right. And I came off of him. Going to put points there. Points there. All right, Robert Saunders. Yep, and points there. I'm going to put 3 points on him. That gives me enough for one interview. All right, so I've got 5 scholarships left. I need to come back out to both. I need to come to uncommitted. And I'm just going to start going down the list to find. Now this is where, you remember we talked about the top player on your list. And it talked about, that if you were at number 60, that you might be able to get a guy at 50. 40 would be a stretch. Top 25 probably out of reach. But if I'm at number 3 or 4, then I can get anybody, from number 1 on down. So here's a guy, Daniel Denham, out of Puerto Rico. Wow, is he Really, is that Puerto Rico? I believe so. Well, let's go ahead and add him. And I want to view by not recruiting. And we'll put in 10 points. I want to go ahead and schedule my interview and offer. All right. Ohio State. And just because they have an offer doesn't mean you can't go after them, okay? Like this guy's out of Washington, so that's in their neck of the woods. So if he's even remotely interested in playing close to home, I can't compete with that. But I'm also looking at, are they being recruited by a smaller program, say a Vanderbilt, even if they're in Tennessee, I might be able to go in and get them if they're more interested in prestige and winning, right? So, all right, Gregory Tyner, all right, General Douglas MacArthur, all right, there's a typing issue in here. Doesn't even show what state he's in, so that's difficult to know. But let's see, Tyner, all right, he's in Levittown, New York. But let's go ahead and nobody's on him, so we'll go ahead and pop. All right, I still have 3 scholarships. A&M, Nebraska, Texas, Ohio State. All right, here's a center, Daniel Lieberman out of Vermont. All right, we'll add him. 10 points, offer. Okay, we'll go ahead and put a cut in right there. We'll come back and finish up this week of recruiting here in a few minutes and see what happens in this week with recruiting. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. And if anybody, there were a couple of issues of note this episode, please check into those and let us know what we can expect. Thank you.